In this tutorial video we're going to see what casting is. Now casting is when you take an object of one particular type and turn it into another object type. So for instance it would be when we want to convert one certain type of variable into another type of variable. Now remember there are lots of types of variables: integers, doubles, floats, booleans, characters, etc. So as you can see in this example, we have an integer variable named x with a value of 10. So let's go on and type this out in Eclipse. Int x equals 10. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that we wanted to convert this integer variable into a double variable. Now remember, integer variables are whole numbers and double variables are decimal numbers. So we want to convert this value into a decimal number. So what we would do is we would nominate or create a double variable to do this. So double y. And then what we would do to convert or cast x is we would type between parentheses double and then just afterwards x. So in essence what we're asking Java to do is to create a double variable named y, and inside that variable we're asking it to convert x, which is an integer, into a double. So just to see if this works, let's type this out, or let's print this out by typing system.out.print, and we want to print out the y variable. Let's see if this works by clicking on run. Okay, and as you can see we have a decimal number printed out, so it has converted x into a double variable. So this can work with all types of variables. So let's try and turn this around. So for example, let's go back to this and let's try this example out. We want to start with a double variable. So let's type this out into Eclipse. Double x equals so again we want to convert this decimal number into a whole number. So we're going to create a integer variable named y equals, and to convert it we're going to type int between parentheses, and we want to convert or cast x. So again we've created an integer variable and we've asked it, and inside that variable we're asking it to convert x, which is a double variable, a decimal number, into a whole number, into an integer variable. So let's test this out. Click on run. Okay, and as you can see the decimal number that was 5.9999 has been converted into an integer value, so which means it's a whole number. So as you can see there is no more decimal point, so the answer, the result that is giving us is 5. So when you decide to cast certain types of variables, as you can see, it's best to cast integers into doubles because you can. There won't be a loss of precision in the result. But as you can see, when you start converting doubles, so decimal numbers, into whole numbers, you lose the precision, sorry, because the decimal point has been deleted. So in the next step I'm going to show you how to apply casting into mathematical calculations. So meet me in the next step. So now that we've understood the basics of casting variables, let's try and apply that to a mathematical calculation. So in this example here, you can see we have two double variables, so two variables that have decimal numbers as values. So let's type this out into Eclipse just to get a better view. Double x equals 10 and y equals 5. So what we want to do in this example is divide x by y and then cast that result into a integer variable, which is a whole number. So to start off, we're going to create an integer variable by typing int, let's call it z, equals, and then we want to divide x by y, like so, but remember we want to convert that into an integer variable, so we need to type int between parentheses just before, like so. Now to see if this works, let's print this out. And as you can see, the result is 2. So it's correctly calculated 10 divided by 5, and then it's converted that result into an integer value, so 2. As you can see, there's no decimal number, so it's correctly casted the calculation. So let's turn this round now, and let's delete this, and let's do it the other way around. Let's say we start off with two integer variables. So let's say x equals 3 and y equals 2. Okay, we want to do the same thing, divide x by y, except this time we want to convert the result into a decimal number, so into a decimal variable. So to do that, basing upon what we've just seen before, what you would want to write is this. Double, let's call it z, equals double x divided by 1. So this is what you would want to type. It may not necessarily work, we'll just see that afterwards. What we're asking, what we've done is we've created a double variable, so a variable that contains a decimal number, and we've asked it to convert into a double the division between x by y. So let's see what it's going to display for us here. So it's displaying 1.0, but we know that if we divide 3 by 2, we should get 1.5. So you're probably asking yourself, why is it displaying 1.0? Well, what you need to understand is in Java, what it's doing is it's executing the operations in a certain order. So it's basically calculating first the division x by y, which is 3 divided by 2, which is 1. It's then converting that result, that 1, into the double that we asked it to. So 1 as a double is still 1, and then it's assigning that 1 to the variable z, which is a double, but it's still 1. So what you need to do is this. You have to ask it to calculate the double of x divided by the double of y, like so. Now if we try it now, you'll see that it works. 1.5. So you're asking it to calculate the double of x divided by the double of y, and that will give you the correct answer. So you basically know how to cast variables and how to cast them in mathematical operations.